can see my new reservoir. You can see I got a short piece of clear hose with a plug on the end of it, tie wrapped in there. That's on the return line. So what I'm going to do is after I get the new pump and get it installed, I'm going to have this mounted in the Jeep. And I'm going to open the top of this, fill it with ATF plus 4. I'm going to jack up the Jeep and get it on jack stands, the front axle. And I'm going to take some more of this clear hose. I got about 5 feet of it right here. And I'm going to couple this to the return line and then drop it down to a 5-gallon bucket. And then I'm going to turn the wheel left and right, which is going to, I'm going to do this without the vehicle running, which is still going to push the fluid, the transmission fluid through this hose and get it in the bucket. I just want to get rid of more of the old ATF plus 4. I don't expect there's too much left, maybe a half a quart, maybe a quart. And then see if there's any debris in that. Like I said, I did smell kind of burnt. But the idea is just taking an extra step to get more of the old fluid out. And as you can see, I got 4 brand new quarts of Mopar ATF plus 4. So just a little step. I don't think it's going to take too long. But I think it's just a better job when you're talking about changing the reservoir and the power steering pump. Here's the old one right here. Obviously, this bracket's going to be coming off, and it'll go on the new pump. Amen. www.pwrsteer.com. Motion control system gives you gives you some directions. Gives you a hose clamp, which I don't believe I'll use because I've got the original press clamp for the hose, for the intake hose into the pump. And then you can see there's a O-ring. That's for the high pressure fitting. You can change the O-ring on it that actually threads into the power steering pump. Let's see what we got here. Nice. Nice. There it is. That'll sit just like that. You can see there are 3 threaded holes for the bracket that we're going to take off. You can see they've got a cover on the intake end, and they've got a plastic threaded cap in the port for the high pressure end, the output end. Now, as a side note, I was looking up, Mike and I were talking about, what does a stock JK power steering pump put out for PSI? Anywhere from 14 to 1500 PSI is what it does. We were wondering if perhaps maybe in the future we install a T and have a fitting where we could actually have a gauge in there and you'd be able to see exactly what you're getting out for hydraulic pressure. But be that as it may, I'm going to change over the bracket, take the bracket off of the stock pump right there, or the what I believe is the faulty pump, and get that installed on the new pump. Side-by-side comparisons look good. You can see I already got these bolts. I'm going to take these 1/2 inch or a 13 mil bolts. There's 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. Get them out, take this bracket, put it over on the new pump. I already broke them free. By the way, for the install on these, it's 18 foot-pounds. 18 foot-pounds for the bracket onto the pump. 18 foot-pounds for the bolts into the block of the motor. All right, you can see I have the pumps laid out in the exact position. As I said, 3 13 millimeter bolts hold the bracket onto the pump. Balances itself and it sits on there quite nicely. That should come off and fit right on that one perfectly. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a Sharpie and put the date that this is being installed as well, just as a reminder. Now, in regards to this pump here, is it bad? Well, listen, I had intermittent steering. It seemed like it was getting weak. Although, you guys saw when I took everything apart, there was a lot of debris inside the reservoir, which Could have been left over. Don't forget, this was a on the trail repair out in the woods. Tim came up, helped me out big time, changed this out late at night, and then we wheeled with it. And she's been going strong for about 18 months, maybe 2 years, I'm not sure. But it could still be good, so we'll just hold it for an emergency power steering pump. If someone needed one in emergency, you'll get some pressure out of it, that's for sure. But we're gonna get this new one prepped here for reinstall, and I'm gonna put the date on it. Keep that old one just in case. All right, transferred the bracket over, torqued the 3 mounting bolts to 18 foot-pounds. This thing's sitting in the go position. This is the line that comes off the reservoir, just like this, and then there's a sharp 90 that goes onto that. So I'm gonna wait and install that after the pump is mounted to the block. Then I'll loosen up the tensioner and get the belt on it. Then we got our high pressure line right here that will thread into here. I've got that new O-ring that I can put on the fitting right there. This also, this is an 18 millimeter. The high pressure connector that goes in here, the fitting, is 18 millimeter, and the torque spec on that's like 22 to 27 foot-pounds. So a little more than the bolts that mount the unit. Also, you might recall that there are 2 spots for the Christmas trees. Remember, there was an electrical harness pushed right in there, and right here was the other one to hold the electrical harness in place. And that thing will sit right on the motor like so. Looks good. Okay, I just wanted to zoom in. I'm shining the light. You can see that little rubber O-ring. It's on about 1/4 of an inch. So I'll be taking a pick tool and taking that O-ring off and putting that new one in. The other thing that struck my attention there's a big, huge electrical connector right there. And you can see that the return line basically just rubs against those wires. I don't like that at all. None of the wires are damaged, but I'm gonna pack that, fill with some duct seal, and make like a nice barrier and protect that for future, so we don't have anything shorting out. Okay, you can see I got a little pick tool here. I'm gonna get that O-ring off of that high pressure connector. You can see it right there. All right, there's the O-ring. That little pick tool worked really good. Let's pull the new one out. Okay, there's the new one's on the left. Gonna put that on. All right, there's a good look at the new one. It just goes on there. Put a little power steering fluid on it, keep it wet, and then obviously that's going to thread in up on an angle right into the port. So this is high pressure out of the pump. There we go. You can just see how that spins freely right there, and that's in the go position. Okay, you can see the 13 millimeter head bolt. That's the one on the bottom in the bracket. I got it hand tight. It's easiest to just, in my opinion, if you're doing this on the garage floor, to just lay on your back, reach up there, and torque that thing to 18 foot-pounds. Electrical harness is plugged into the opening. The power steering pump is in position. You can see the 2 13 millimeter head bolts right there. I think the easiest thing to do is to get the one in the bottom from the bottom. So I think that worked out pretty good. The torque to 18 foot-pounds. The next thing you can see there, I can undo that yellow plug and get that high pressure 18 millimeter connector all installed on the bottom of the pump. You can see it's just lined up so nicely, threaded in there by hand perfectly. And now I'll get the 18 millimeter wrench and give that some love. All right, the high pressure line is tightened up quite nicely. Now I'm going to undo that tensioner and get that belt on that pulley. All right, looks like a perfect fit right there. Make sure that the belt, everything is good. Let's grab that. Good. Sitting in the proper channel right there. Okay. Just a nice look at the belt. So you can see I'm over the belt tensioner around the power steering pump to the left of the screen. On the inside of an idler, around the alternator, inside of the idler and over to the AC pulley, over around the water pump and around the crankshaft. Okay, you can see the hose clamp is on. The hose is on the new pump. And I gotta just set it up, put the clamp, tighten up the clamp on the bottom of the reservoir. Okay, you can see the hose clamp is all set on the bottom of the reservoir. Now again, so here's the return line. You can just about see it right there. What I'm gonna do is put a barb in there and a hose, and then I'll have basically an extension. You can see that I got a little piece of hose with a plug on the end of it where it normally goes into. Okay, so that's just gonna sit right there. Then I can add fluid in here, turn the wheel. I'll lift the front axle up and put it on jack stands and turn the wheel left and right and try to flush out some more fluid. Okay, the axle's on jack stands. I'm gonna add some ATF plus 4 to the new reservoir. The return line is hooked to this clear hose, which comes down here and empties into a 5-gallon bucket. We'll see if this works. The tires are off the ground a couple inches, so we'll see what happens here. See what happens. All right, you can see my level. I'm going to turn the wheels back and forth, see what happens. Okay, once again, all I'm trying to do is flush the system and get out any of the old ATF plus 4. So you can see it's going to work its way around. I'm going to turn the steering now back all the way driver. Okay, you can see my transmission or my ATF plus 4 level has gone down. It's actually at max right now, but you know, there's some debris in there, so I'm gonna do it one more time. All right, so I pushed through, damn near a quart. See, my power steering level right now is right at max. Again, I'm comfortable with that because basically all I really needed to do was get the fluid out of the line, the 2 lines, and the steering box. So pretty happy with that. I'm gonna disconnect this, get the return line hooked up properly into the reservoir, then continue to do this process and bleed air out. Yeah, honestly, if I didn't have all that debris, I don't think I would have went through this flushing process. But all right, so you can see now I just got to rehook up the return line onto the bottom of the reservoir or the side of the reservoir here and bolt this down and then go through the process of getting the air out. All right, let's look things over here. Okay, that looks good. We got, let's see here. We got the bottom of the reservoir hooked up. We got the return hooked up. You can see it right there. Got the clamps all set up nice. And if you look at the level, we're at max right now. You can see it right there. All new Mopar ATF plus 4. So now I'm going to open up this cap. And I'm going to be turning them wheels back and forth quite a bit. Manually, basically, and then I'll start the vehicle after and we'll do it with the pump. All right, I turn the wheels back and forth and you can see I dropped down 1 inch of level, so we're going to add some more ATF plus 4 to this reservoir, top it off. Okay, topped off the reservoir, going to turn these wheels back and forth another 10 times. And then we'll put the air box in, the air intake, etc. Start this thing up. Do the same process with the new power steering pump running. Okay, no change, right at the max line after turning it another 10 times. So now I want to get that air box installed, get this intake installed, and start this vehicle up. Do the same thing. I got the air box in. I got to tighten up that hose clamp on the throttle body. Plug in the air intake temperature sensor, and I got another hose clamp right down there to tighten up. All right, my air box, snorkel, all set, air intake, electrical air temperature sensor, everything looks good. I'm going to start this vehicle up, and then I'll take the cap off and turn these wheels left and right, test it out. Hopefully everything goes good. Okay, a little bit of noise when I started the motor. I guess you would expect that. The wheel, obviously the axle is still on the jack stand, so it's turning these tires with little to no effort whatsoever, back and forth. And we'll go check that level and just see how things are going. So far, so good. You can see that, nice and easy. Go check our level out. Well, you can really see that new fluid sloshing around in there. And so far, so good. Got to keep an eye out for leaks. All right, I just checked underneath, no leaks. Wow, that's amazing. That fluid really moves around in there. All right, the idle's coming down, the Jeep's warming up a little bit. I'm gonna turn these wheels some more left and right. Okay, once again, power steering fluid looking good, all nice and clean. Now we'll pull the vehicle out, test it on the asphalt, and take it for a ride. But so far, so good. Very pleased with it.